So welcome to another glorious Sunday morning. I got the gong before I even started singing. You're not supposed to gong me off the stage until I start. And so I'm a little concerned because, you know, my mother raised me to like be color coordinated and kind of like, you know, have a little sense of fashion, and I've lost a lot of that as I've gotten older, but I'll tell you, this guitar just doesn't fit with anything I wear. But thanks to Brian for letting me borrow it. Unfortunately, the bridge on my Martin started to lift off. So we're going to do a Curtis Haynes song called How the Fields Have Grown. Who knew when this started, well, how it would go? There's something about this place, and it just won't let go. How the fields have grown, how the fields have grown, how the fields have grown, they've grown in time. We grew just like seeds, 'cause we were thrown to the wind. And each season reminds us now of how new life begins. How the fields have grown, how the fields have grown, how the fields have grown, they've grown in time. Angel shepherd has parted, but we're still standing as one. She sowed the seeds of love inside for each and every one. How the fields have grown, how the fields have grown, how the fields have grown, they've grown in time. Did we wonder did we roam? We stood upon this fertile soil till our new shepherd came on. How the fields have grown, how the fields have grown, how the fields have grown, they've grown in time. Who knew when this started how far we would go? You know there's something about this old place, and it just won't let go. How the fields have grown, how the fields have grown, how the fields have grown, they've grown in time. Come on and watch us grow. Come on and watch us grow. Come on and watch us grow.
Keith Bickford.
Thank you.
All right, here we go. We're gonna Get Ready, My Soul. Everything I've ever done and everything I've ever seen, everything I've lost or won, and everything I've ever dreamed has brought me here to the present moment, here to a new beginning. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome. Turn it around. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Woo! Thank you, Andy Dow, for being in the house, saving my book. Okay, please stay standing if you're comfortable and join the hand of the person next to you. This is our congregational song, Surely the Presence.
Let us pray. Surely the presence of the Lord is here because you are here. As I affirm this every Sunday, I hold the intention that we all affirm this every single moment of our lives. The presence of God is here, everywhere, in each and every situation we are in because we are there. We are the embodiment of the divine. God lives, moves, and has its being in us just as we do in God. And we come together today, every Sunday, to celebrate that. But let it be the anchor of our joy in every moment of every day, of every week, of every year, of every lifetime. God is here because I am here. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen and amen. You may be seated. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity on the River. In case we haven't met yet, I am Reverend Ogun Holder, Senior Minister here. Thrilled to see you all on this balmy-ish, relatively, Sunday morning. If you haven't noticed, I was playing a little percussion earlier, and later I'll be fulfilling my lifelong dream to join the church band. Yes. And you'll see more of me doing that because, I realize that here I am for the last 3 years telling you guys, live your bliss, find your joy, do all of that. And I realized that there was an area here I wasn't doing that. I've been a church musician since I was 11 years old. And I've been a church music director. I've played in bands and churches and other places. And and for 3 years more has been patiently pushing me to come jam with the guys. So I'm excited to be doing that today and hope to do more of that. And also excited. Thank you.
Really great, you guys.
Save your applause for after the tune, just in case. Don't anticipate it's going to be awesome. But also thrilled for the wonderful people who step into their bliss by helping me do the service and facilitate. And today, I welcome Gina once again. Thank you, Gina.
Good morning, and welcome to Unity on the River. I'm Gina Jeunesse, facilitating service this morning for Reverend Ogun. Let's do it again.
That was my inside voice.
And so, we're here. We got here with the clock thing. I saw this cartoon that was moving Stonehenge stones, saying they didn't like the daylight saving. Did you see that? So we're here. And also, let's welcome streamers because we live stream. We have a little wave. Good morning, streamers. Welcome. So we also would like to welcome anybody who's here today celebrating with us for the first time. If you are new today, would you raise your hand? We have a flower and a packet to give to you. Some people here. Keep your hand up. All right. If you can fill out that welcome card that you'll get and bring it to the Spiritual Resource Center through those doors after service today, people can answer your questions there. And that flower is going to give you a 10% discount off at the bookstore today, so take that flower with you as well after service. We bless you and thank you for coming. Please know we welcome all paths to God. Your presence here enriches us together. So Unity on the River is a center of celebration, transformation, inspiration, spirit-centeredness, and joy and oneness. Please hold these truths in your heart as we say our mission statement together. We are a vibrant spiritual community that celebrates the presence in all and awakens humanity to its divinity. And our vision statement, centered in love, we joyously co-create a world of oneness, peace, and harmony. Thank you. Some brief announcements. We have a men's group that will meet today after service beginning at noon. Tomorrow is the affinity group meeting about the film tomorrow. Team Tomorrow, that's Tuesday this week, March 13th at 6:30 p.m. It's the affinity group from the film tomorrow. Also, there's a Healers Open House next Sunday, March 25th. I'm not sure that's next Sunday. Yeah. There's a Healers Open House coming up. Any practitioners interested in joining that day, please call Peter and let him know that you're interested in providing services on that day, on the 25th. And today also, after service at noon, is the Compassionate Communication Integration Group with me. If you've taken any of my classes here, Compassionate Communication or Untangling Anger, the prayer chaplains, any of those people who have taken my class, this is a time to practice. So it's going to be once a month on the second service day, second Sunday. And it's 12 to 1 just to integrate what we've learned, because it's sometimes hard to apply what you just learned once. So feel free to come. We'll be in one of the rooms back there at noon. Questions, see me after service. And now is the time in our service where we do namaste. Take a moment to greet each other in love with either a handshake or a hug. And I invite you to say, I see you. I see your divinity. I see your magnificence.
am I to do? What am I to feel? 'Cause I am like a child, and you are with me still. What am I to do? What am I to feel? I am like a child, and you are with me still. Listening in the silence, even in the sadness, it's everywhere you are. Everywhere you are. Let my soul surrender. The greater I shall be. It's what I came to do. It's who I came to be. Let my soul surrender. Let my soul surrender. It's what I came to do. It's who I came to be. The heart of God. Thank you so much. Thanks to Keith Bickford, my duet partner, and Stevie and Mike. Thank you.
Let's bless the plate and go home. I mean, that's really the essence of my talk today. You know, we don't coordinate these things. We truly don't. Be who we are here to be. Be who we are here to be, in spite of ourselves, right? Some even say because of ourselves, but in spite of ourselves. Who are we here to be? We're here to be God. So today I'm continuing my You Are the Light of the World, the Light of the World series. If you missed part 1 last week, go check it out on YouTube. Remember we talked about a little bit about Jesus and coming to terms with some of the contradictions of who he is, which was good because it gives us hope for ourselves. I was with that quote all week that I shared with you last week. The measure of enlightenment is how comfortable you feel with your own contradictions. Measure of enlightenment is how comfortable you feel with your own contradictions. So I was doing a lot of objective observing of myself this week and my contradictions. And when I'm pretty clear, believe one thing but might think another, or might think one thing and say another. When one observes oneself thinking before one speaks a lot less. So I had a good week. Had a good week. But I shared with you, how Jesus was, he earned himself in many ways that moniker, Prince of Peace, and he spoke a lot about peace. He said, peace, you have peace in me, and I leave peace with you, and all these examples he lived of peace, but he still had some angry, aggressive moments. We heard him. I shared that he talked a lot about love God with your whole heart, mind, and soul, love your neighbor as yourself, but yet, there are instances where he insulted people. And after church, last week, somebody said to me, and after a meeting, we were hanging out, somebody said, did Jesus really say that to people? Did he really insult people? And I said, yes, he did. And I want to share one of those examples with you specifically today because, I'll just share it with you. I'll tell you why later. So we read in Matthew 15. Matthew chapter 15, verses 21 and 28. Jesus left that place and went away to the district of Tyre and Sidon. Just then a Canaanite woman from that region came out and started shouting, "Have mercy on me, Lord, Son of David. My daughter is tormented by a demon." But he did not answer her at all. And his disciples came and urged him, saying, "Send her away, for she keeps shouting after us." And he answered, "I was sent only to the lost sheep of the house of Israel." But she came and knelt before him, saying, "Lord, help me." And he answered, "It is not fair to take the children's food and throw it to the dogs." She said, "Yes, Lord, yet even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from their master's table." Then Jesus answered her, "Woman, great is your faith. Let it be done for you as you wish." And her daughter was healed instantly. There's a lot going on in here. But if there's anything that jumps out at you, like it jumped out at me when I read this story, years and years ago, was him doing his best to ignore this woman and her pleas. The disciples were saying, "Send her away." And he was saying, "I was sent only to the lost sheep of the house of Israel." And she was Canaanite. And let me give you a little backstory as to why that's important. The Canaanites and the Israelites were ancestral cousins, if this makes sense. We got to understand why the Israelites kind of looked down at the Canaanites. We got to go all the way back to Noah. Remember Noah, the guy in the ark and the flood? Right, that dude. So when you read, a lot of people stop the story after the earth dried up and the animals came out and there was a rainbow. It's a promise that the earth would never be flooded again. It's a beautiful mythical story. And most people stop the story there. But if you read a little bit further, just a few more verses, you realize that Noah had some issues. Kind of understandable, because the first thing he did after he got off the ark, after being cooped up for all these days and weeks with the animals, having to clean the ark because animals make a mess, and he had 2 of every animal. Can you imagine who drew the short straw to go clean out the elephant pen, right? So we had him cooped up with all the animals and his family, had the kids and the kids' wives, and so there was nowhere for Noah to go. He was trapped on this boat for all this time. After being ridiculed all the days before building this thing, and now he's trapped on with his family, the first thing Noah does after the rainbow and all that is he plants a vineyard and makes some wine. Because in many ways, understandably, after being in that stressful situation, Noah says, I need a drink. And he goes, he builds a vineyard, he makes wine, and he gets like plastered. It's in there to the point where he passes out naked. Okay? I know, right? Like, you're probably saying, why don't we hear this part of the story? They don't teach that in Sunday school. No, they don't. They teach that Noah was called because he was a righteous man and he saved the animals and repopulated the planet, but we don't talk about the other side of Noah. So Noah goes and he passes out, he's naked. And he's got 3 sons, and one of his sons comes in, sees him naked, and goes out and tells the brothers, tells his other 2 brothers. He's like, Dad's out. So the other 2 brothers, they get like a blanket, and without looking at Noah laid out naked, they cover him up. Noah comes to, he wakes up, he realizes what's happened, and he curses the son of his son who saw him naked. So the son who saw him naked was Ham. Ham's son was Canaan. And for some inexplicable reason, when Noah wakes up and realizes one of his sons saw him naked, ratted him out, he cursed his grandson. I don't pretend to understand the logic in this, but he cursed Canaan and Canaan's descendants. And from that story, from that lineage, apparently all of Canaan's descendants were considered cursed. So now the Israelites, fast forward to Jesus' time, the Israelites looked down on the Canaanites. You are a cursed people, and we will have nothing to do with you. All because of Noah's issues, right? So here we are now, and this Canaanite woman, and at that time, of course, very patriarchal, unfair society, so double whammy against her. She's a woman and a Canaanite. He's coming yelling to Jesus, like, my daughter's sick. I've heard all these fabulous things about you. The disciples are saying, send her away. She's disturbing us. She's yelling. Jesus himself, I believe, being a product of his time and his generation and his heritage, I think this is where his humanity kicks in. I'm an Israelite. You're Canaanite. I'm not supposed to have anything to do with you. This is not my culture. You are not my culture. Dealing with you, agreeing with you, trying to sympathize with you is not what I do. You're not part of my family. You're not part of my culture. You're not part of my politic. You're not part of my team. You're not part of my view of things. So, away with you. But she persisted. And then he said, I am not here for you. And he uses this like harsh metaphor. It is not fair to take the children's food and throw it to the dogs. You are not worthy to receive what I have to give. And we're thinking, Jesus said that? Yeah, he did. Now, many people who are desperate to continue painting Jesus in a really good light said, he was just testing her. He was testing her faith. He wanted to see how bad she really wanted this. So I'm going to throw her a test, and if she passes, I'm going to heal her daughter. Because afterwards he says, great is your faith, after she comes back with her statement. Or even the dogs eat crumbs. You've got to give me something. So we desperately want to paint Jesus in this positive light. But why do we have to? Why do we have to? Why do we have to? Because we want him to be that. We want him to be that. Because what? He was in human form. So here's the thing, though. The thing is that I believe Jesus' actions and his words, they save us. In other words, they give us some hope within ourselves, less because of all the awesome things that he did, but more for moments like these. More for moments like these. Now, here in Unity, when we read the Bible, our interpretation is what we call metaphysical. You know this. We don't look at it literally. We don't even try to tease out the metaphors of what it might mean. We realize that every symbol, every place, everything that happens in the Bible is a reflection of our own spiritual journey. Every character in the story is an element of our spirituality, our spiritual life, of who we are. Even the names and the places. So, for example, Tyre and Sidon, these two cities, when these are mentioned together, what they're referring to is that part of us that tends to want to not make excuses for when we're doing the right thing. Like when we're living as our spiritual self. You know, we go through these phases when we do stretches, like we're meditating every day. You know, and some of us, you know, we got our apps, our technology meditation apps, and we're on like a 20-day streak. I've been meditating for 20 days, so, you know, no, I'm not making any excuses. I'm blocking out the time. I'm doing my meditation, and I'm feeling good. And, you know, that's what Tyre and Sidon represents. Those moments when we get into that flow. Canaan, remember we mentioned the woman is Canaanite, from Canaan. Canaan represents kind of like the part of us that gets caught up in the material, physical existence and needs of ourselves. So when the human of us craves something that may not, well, likely not beneficial to our spiritual self, that's what that whole Canaan thing represents. I'll give you an example. I'm a bit of a headphone junkie. Okay, I own 5 pairs of headphones. 5 pairs. That's the question. Why? Really, that is, why do I own? Because it's this weird compulsion I have to find the perfect set of headphones. You know, some of you musicians who are audiophiles might be able to relate. You know, don't make me feel bad standing here by myself with this weird compulsion. But you understand what I'm saying? He understands. I mean, like every time I go to buy a new pair of headphones, I'm like, oh dear, another trip down the road to Canaan because I'm getting distracted by this material need. I have, you know, I got an awesome wired pair, but then I'm like, well, this is a really nice pair. I can't go to the gym and get these all sweaty, so I had to get a pair for the gym, right? So I got a pair for the gym that is Bluetooth and wireless, and the 2 earbuds connect by a thing around the back. So that worked. But then when I go running sometimes, like that wire thing doesn't balance well. So one side's pulling out. So I was like, all right, I got to get those 2 like earbuds that aren't joined by wires together. So I got those. But none of them are like noise cancellation headphones. So when I'm on the plane, I need a pair that will drown out the background noise so I could, you know, watch my videos and hear my music well. So I got those, and then those weren't working well, so I gave those to Joy, and I got me another more expensive pair. So, but here's the thing. Why? Right? So this is what I mean. I mean, come on. We all got our little thing, our own material thing that we feel this compulsion, you know, towards. But that was
Headphones Anonymous.
You start that group, I will attend. So we got that. That runs parallel to when we read the story. She says her daughter has a demon. That's what demon also means. Demon represents like erroneous states of thinking. You know, same thing in Unity when we speak of sin. When we have thoughts that get caught up in our material situations, what's happening around us, and we forget that we are divine. Yeah, that's error thinking. That's our thinking. We get sucked in, and we're like, oh man, what am I going to do? I can't handle this, blah, blah, blah. I don't have the skill set for this. Yes, you do, because you're divine. But as we tend to use human beings, we get pulled into it. Okay? So we have that piece going on as well. And when we speak of healing, remember Jesus healed the daughter. When we speak of healing, what we're speaking of simply returning those error thoughts to the pure thoughts of who we are as a divine being. We return to our wholeness. Returning to our spiritual wholeness doesn't necessarily mean that what's happening around us is going to change like that, as is often shared in these stories. But what it means is we begin to see it differently. We begin to see ourselves in it differently. And then when that happens, our thoughts change. When our thoughts change, our beliefs change. When our beliefs change, our actions change. When our actions change, things around us change because now we're interacting with it differently. We become the change that we want to experience by returning to the thoughts of, oh yeah, I forgot. I'm the epitome of the divine right here. That's the essence of who I am. So when we look at the story from that interpretation, what we realize is here we are on our 20-day meditation streak. We're doing good. We're flowing along. And all of a sudden, an ad for a headphone sale pops up. And as I'm doing due diligence, what do? I'm like, ooh, is that a good pair? Let me go do some research. So I get on the internet and I start researching. And, what was this rated? Let me check like 7 different websites. And we check this rating. And one website says, yeah, that's a good pair. But if you want a better pair, go to this one. Ooh, let me see. And I get sucked in, and there goes my 20-day meditation streak. Because the time I set aside for meditation, now I just spent an hour and a half sucked down the internet hole because I got distracted by this. And it doesn't matter what it is. It can be headphones. I don't understand. It go back to Noah. It could be alcohol. It could be a narcotic. It could be relationships. It could be dating. It could be whatever it is. We get sucked into those things. And then while I'm down the rabbit hole of the headphones, I can hear that truly spiritual consciousness piece of me saying, why? Really? And I have a choice at that point. I can listen and back off, or again, I can keep getting sucked down that rabbit hole. And there are days where it's gone both ways. I'll be honest with you. There are days it's gone either way. But at some point, I catch myself, whether it's that day or the next day or the day the headphones appear in the mail, and I go, what did I do? I'm going to send these back. Well, that day hasn't happened yet, but after this, that day doesn't need to come because I'm going to hold the intention that I don't get sucked down that rabbit hole again. Right? But I might. But that's the thing. The thing is that we always have the opportunity to return to our wholeness. We always have the opportunity when we catch ourselves, not to beat up on ourselves, but to realize that if the Son of Man, if the way shower, if the one for whom his teaching spawned an entire religion had an off day, I'm not going to beat myself up so badly. Now, this is not an excuse for us to be unkind or uncompassionate. This is not an excuse for us to see another suffering and leave them in their suffering. This is not an excuse for us to keep on expanding our consciousness and deepening ourselves and raising ourselves to the highest, grandest version of who we're meant to be. No, that's not an excuse. But that's the story says to me, is that maybe the spiritual journey is not about benchmarks of perfection. It's about embracing the fullness of who we are along the way, warts and all. And saying that I remember this is not a demonstration of failure. This is an opportunity for awareness, for deeper awareness, to return to my wholeness, to return to being the light. In the Gospel of Thomas, Jesus writes, and Gospel of Thomas, for those of you who may not know, you're not going to find it in the Bible. It's one of these Gnostic canons, Gnostic Gospels that didn't make it into the Bible. He says, if you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you. There's a light within a man of light, and it lights the whole world. If he does not shine, he is in darkness. When we return to this, when we catch ourselves in our moments of being distracted, of maybe being a little less Christ-like, and we catch ourselves and return to it, we're giving our light a little boost. We're giving our light a little boost. So this is my invitation for you this week. Observe yourself even deeper. Watch for those moments when you inadvertently take that road to Canaan and get pulled out of your spiritual groundedness. And when you do it, notice it. And simply repent, as in return your thoughts to the truth of who you are. To the truth of who you are. Continue to shine your light because the world needs you too. Let's take this in a meditation. So invite you to take a deep breath, center ourselves. Allow your body to relax into the chair. Feel it supporting you. And simply breathe. I invite you to think of a moment in the past week or month where you know you may not have been the best expression of the divine that you are. Perhaps it was a moment of fear that caused you not to act in love. Perhaps it was a moment trying to fill a human or material need. Bring that moment to mind. Allow yourself to feel the emotions that come up around it. Now allow yourself to take a step back from it. Take a step back first into self-compassion. Take a step back into self-love. Take a step back into the deep knowing that even in that moment, you are still the fullness of God. Allow yourself to release any thoughts other than love and acceptance of yourself. Should there be shame, let that go. Should there be embarrassment, let that go. Should there be anger, let that go. Sadness, let that go. Hold on to the truth that the fullness of the divine is you in every moment. And you can return to it at any moment. Allow yourselves to reconnect with that now. Allow it to replace anger with peace, the shame with compassion, the sadness with joy, the despair with hope. These are the divine thoughts that we hold on to. because we are the light of the world. So for a few moments in the silence, hold on to that thought, that intention, that truth. Say it silently to yourselves. I am the light of the world. 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 Let's hold that intention for all these names in our prayer box. Knowing that whatever the circumstances, the situations, the challenges of these individuals, remember that they are the light of the world. That the light they seek is in them, through them, and shines as them. And should you hold that intention for anyone else, I invite you to say their names out loud. In so doing, we see them as the light, we see ourselves as the light for them. This is who we are called to be. The light for the world, for ourselves, for everyone in our lives. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen.
I'm really happy to invite Andy Dow up to the stage, who's back today as our guest artist. And yeah, feel free. And it's an especially great day to have him here because it's his birthday, so go for it. And we're so glad that he'd come back to hang out with his music team family. Sort of like the mafia. Once you're in the music team, you're never quite out of it. Right, Lucia? Yeah. Right. And you'll always be welcome.
Just like the mafia.
Just like the mafia.
So Moore has given me a little time to set up here with her beautiful music. Y'all are very lucky to have these people.
Thank you, Andy. We love you.
And Rev, honestly, like, my self-esteem was starting to build, but then I come back and now you're playing in the band too. And I gotta get, like, up my game. You are a happening individual.
You're welcome.
We're stealing
so
the
I can
minister.
call you for gigs. All right. So this is going to be more quiet after meditation, and then I have a song that I wrote 2 days ago. So this is kind of the place for me to test it out, and I'm thankful that I'm given this opportunity. When I grew up, I was a singer first, and I quit singing because I was super nervous singing in front of people. So I started playing bass, where I like to just kind of be back in the corner. So Rev talks about being who you are and being the best of who you are and kind of rising up to who you are. And so now I'm always doing things that scare me every day. And I'm afraid, but I'll do it anyway. That's what we do.
Yay, Andy!
And y'all should be telling your friends about this place, because this is a very special community that you don't find everywhere. And by the way, before I start, sorry I'm taking a little time because I'm tuning here. I learned this from songwriters growing up, just talk. I grew up in a Catholic church. Thank you for your condolences. And I stopped going because as a kid, I wanted so desperately to stand up and start questioning the things that were being said, because they just simply weren't true, some of them. This place is true. And I appreciated the couple of hecklers this morning who were kind of just saying and asking, and you know, we don't want to make that a habit, right, Rev? But he's very kind to allow that in this space, because that, I believe, is important, that we all have a voice. What about my eyes? He said, keep them on the road. I said, what about my passion? He said, keep it burning. I said, what about my heart? He said, tell me what you hold inside. I said, pain and sorrow. He said, stay with it. The wound is the place where the light enters you. Thanks, everybody.
Okay, we're debating. Time. All right, thank you, Andy, for that song. And thank you, too, Reverend Ogun, for your words this morning. I'd like to take a moment to recognize the beautiful souls who volunteer as prayer chaplains here. Please rise if you are able. These wonderful people can meet with you for prayer or gratitude, or to simply sit in silence with you after service. They will hold your prayers and intentions in the strictest of confidence. Thank you. Also, if you are in need, we have home and hospital prayer chaplains that will do home visits for recuperation or hospital stays. Please see Reverend Annie Houghton, or one of the home and hospital prayer chaplains, today if you have questions. If you're here, please stand. Annie's here. We have Nancy, and we have Catherine. Thank you. Remember, you can also submit your prayer requests in the prayer box, which is located in the rear. And Unity on the River now has a dedicated phone line that will take prayer requests as well. Our prayer team in Silent Unity will pray over your requests. And now is the time in our service where we prepare our tithes and offerings. Let's hold them and breathe into our energy of abundance as we say our affirmation. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
So one more. I've had a lot of changes in my life recently, and I tend to go through life wearing it on my sleeve. But I say that only because when you listen to the words of this song, I hope that you don't hear sadness. And we should always be allowed to be sad. We need that. We're human. But you should look around you and be thankful that you have people that you have a community with. We always have community. We just have to open up to it. So we can hold that sadness and also at the same time appreciate what we have and who we have. It's very important. So even when we're sad about somebody, about some people, we can still hold them close and love them. So this is called Dream Life. Find me under sky and water, floating. Forward wander, back I'll ponder, show me. Shadows faded, where's my choice? Stolen pictures, background noise. Lights along the path go dark, find me. Working through your wanderlust, not me. Shadows faded, where's my voice? Stolen pictures, background noise. I'll hold your worries deep inside. I'll show you that I'll be alright. Shadows fading, where's my voice? Make new pictures, that's my choice. I'll never be part of your, I'll never be dream life. I'll never be part of your, I'll never be dream life.
Andy Dow.
Thanks for letting me try that, folks.
I truly hope that we appreciate the level of talent that comes through these doors. Like you taught these guys this song in like 10 minutes this morning or something, right? Like it was.
Yeah, I taught myself 10 minutes.
It was unreal, and I'll just take a moment to speak to how that song really complements what I said today. We got to keep holding ourselves tight in our darkness and holding each other. That was fabulous. I hope you record that somewhere. I'm there, so we can all take it with us. Just take a moment to go to that place in our hearts of gratitude for these gifts that come in and through our community, for those of us who gave here, for those of us who give online, for those of us who've set up automatic giving, for all those tithing in our absolute abundance class, for all the ways that we participate in the flow of our universe, knowing that as we give even more and more, we experience more and more of the plenty and abundance of this universe. For all this, we give thanks and we say amen and amen. Speaking of absolute abundance class, we have week 2 happening tomorrow night. This is the final week that if you want to drop in to see what the class is about, you can do that. After this week, it's closed. Class meets tomorrow night at 7. I know we have some inclement weather coming our way tomorrow night. I think we're supposed to get some snow. So those of you who are in the class or thinking of coming tomorrow night, please keep an eye on our website or Facebook page. If you've signed up for the text alerts, check that too. We'll be letting you know if class is happening. No news is good news. If you don't hear anything, class is on. Okay? We will let you know if we're canceling. Also, please, I hope you still mark your calendars, or spring concert with the Ken Clark Trio, March the 23rd, 7:30 p.m. That's a Friday night. Stevie's in that group, so you'll be jamming with him. Quick correction, the Healers Open House is next week. We got the day right, the date wrong. So next week is the 18th, correct? It's the third Sunday, every third Sunday. So if you want to come and get some healing modality treatment, please come next week. If you are a healer and want to share your gifts, please let Peter or call the office this week so we know how much space we need to set up for that. So that is next Sunday. And also, in case you haven't noticed, our schedule for Easter is up. Easter is like around the corner. Okay, so we have a Palm Sunday service, and the week before the 1st, I think that's the 25th of March. During the week, that Tuesday to Friday, we're going to have the Garden of Gethsemane again, where we transform this sanctuary into like a meditative and contemplative garden experience. So you can come and enjoy that. Some of you might remember that from the last couple of years. Friday night at 7, we're going to have a Good Friday service here. Then we have 2 Sunday morning services on Easter Sunday. So make sure you get in all of that going on. Also, speaking of gardens, it is officially March, and I know it doesn't look like spring outside, but spring will be here before you know it. If you don't remember, we also planted a lot of bulbs out there last fall. So this garden is going to erupt. what we need is someone to lead the meditation garden team. And if you have a love for gardening, if you have a green thumb, please let us know. And remember, when your meditation garden team doesn't mean you're the one doing it all. We have volunteers who help you out with it. Mary, can you stand for a minute? Mary was our last meditation garden team leader. So if you want some insight into that, talk to Mary. Also, we need someone to head up our gala team. I know the gala is not till November, but that'll be here before you know it. Carol, stand a second. Carol is our last gala team leader. She lives all the way out in Colorado now. She's coming back. She came to visit today. Hi, so glad to see you. If you want some, and we've got this down to like a science now, don't we? Yeah, so if you want information about what really that looks like, talk to Carol today. But these are great opportunities to serve this community. And I think that's it. Gina's got a few more thank yous for us.
All right, so some general thank yous. It takes so many people to give their time to help with Sunday service. Thank you for all you do for sacred service. Our angels this week are the teams: live stream team, PowerPoint team, folding team, prayer chaplain team. Board members, if you're here, please, would you stand? Thank you, board members. They are available for you today after service if you have any questions. And thank you to those who make Wednesday night services happen. This week will be with Christina Mariah Lucia at 7 p.m. here. And now, the light of the world, Reverend Ogun, too.
Come on, Rev.
Come on, Barry.
Get your hands together on this one. Pop up, let's do some dancing. Double up, boys. Woo! You are the light of the world. You are the light of the world. But if that light's under a bushel, it's lost something kind of crucial. You gotta stay back to be the light of the world. You are the salt of the earth. You are the salt of the earth. But if that salt has lost its flavor, it ain't got much in its favor. You can't have that fall and be the salt of the earth. So let your light so shine. Let your light so shine that we might hold blindness again. We need some help to feel fine.
Let's have some wine.
You are the city of gold. You are the city of gold. But if that city's on the hill, it's kind of hard to hide it well. You gotta stay pretty in the city of God. So let your light so shine. Let your light so shine, so that we might know kindness again. We all need help to feel fine. Take it, boys. You are the light of the world. You are the light of the world. But the tallest candlestick ain't no good without a wick. You gotta stay bright to be the light of the world. You gotta stay bright to be the light of the world. You gotta stay bright to be the light of the world. the keys. Keith Bickford, Steve Tavares, and Mike Bruin. Woo, look wild.
We are walking at the
Good morning. We had a special guest today. Barbara came in. She's going to a good challenge. It was really good to have her. She's helping us connect our kids with kids that her daughter is teaching in Vietnam, and she's going to visit them. So it was really cool. We're touching all places. And we had a conversation about St. Patrick's Day and faith and love and hope, and so that was fun. And we have 4 teens that chose to continue their lesson. And they're talking about rally, so heads up for fundraising that's coming. And yeah, we're going to actually have a lot of people going to rally and representing the Northeast, and they love seeing us come down, so we're excited about that. And if anybody bought a painting, they're coming down today, so find me. Thanks.
You're welcome. Thank you. Let's stand. Hold our neighbor's hand. Affirm the truth for these children, for ourselves, for the community, that there is peace on earth, and it begins with us.
The light of God surrounds us. We are the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. We are the love of God. The power of God protects us. We are the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. We are the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well, and we are richly blessed.
Go be the light of the world.